Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking an absolutely epic 11-day Ladakh adventure right up into the high Himalayas. We're taking a standard Trippy Tree Holidays itinerary and transforming it into this breathtaking narrative of exploration. So if you've ever wondered what it takes to navigate some of the highest motorable roads and honestly the most remote frontiers on the planet, well, you're definitely in the right place.
Now you might be wondering, what does an 11-day adventure at the roof of the world actually look like? Because let's be real, heading to Ladakh isn't just your standard relaxing vacation. It is a true expedition. We're talking escalating altitudes, dramatic shifts in the landscape, and really pushing past your comfort zone into remote frontiers. It takes preparation, it takes stamina, and you absolutely have to be willing to embrace the extreme.
All right, let's look at how this journey maps out. First, mapping the Ladakh expedition. Then, acclimatization and ancient monasteries. Third, sand dunes and borderlands. Fourth, lakes and starlit skies. And finally, number 5, the final remote frontiers.
Starting right off with Section 1, Mapping the Ladakh Expedition.
Before you step into the unknown, we've got to establish the baseline parameters of this trip. For these 11 days, Trippy Tree Holidays handles the logistics. That means 10 nights of accommodation, 10 breakfasts and dinners to keep you fueled up, and point-to-point transfers in a non-AC Xylo. And honestly, you won't even miss the AC, because that freezing mountain air is literally all the cooling you'll ever need. Plus, they handle the interline permits, which are absolutely crucial for getting you into these restricted areas.
Moving right along to Section 2, Acclimatization and Ancient Monasteries.
Your journey kicks off on day 1 in Leh City. Now, the absolute golden rule of the Himalayas is that you can't just sprint up a mountain, right? Biology just doesn't work that way. You have to take a much-needed afternoon rest to let your body acclimate to that thin air. It's a strict biological necessity. After that, you can gently explore Leh Palace and the Shanti Stupa. Day 2 picks up a bit in the Sham Valley, where you get to experience the crazy gravity-defying magnetic hill and savor some truly incredible tea prasad at Gurudwara Pathar Sahib.
A massive highlight of that second day is Sangam. This is where you get to witness the spectacular, literal merging of the mighty Indus and Zanskar rivers. It's a powerful reminder of the raw, natural forces carving through these mountains right in front of you.
Then, Day 3 is all about this amazing monastery trail. You'll hit up Thixi, Hemis, and Shea monasteries, plus Rancho School. But the absolute must-do takeaway for the day? Make sure you dress up in traditional Ladakhi outfits for photos. It's such a fun, unforgettable way to connect with the local heritage, and you wrap up the day with a really peaceful Sindhu River darshan.
Okay, Section 3, Sand Dunes and Borderlands.
To reach the Nubra Valley on day 4, you've got to survive a 5-hour drive over the Kardungla Pass. 17,582 feet. Just let that number sink in for a second. 17,582. That is a staggering, breathtaking elevation, and just crossing it is a massive physical and mental milestone on your expedition.
After you drop down from that crazy height, your pace finally slows as you navigate rugged terrain into Nubra. You'll visit the majestic Diskit Monastery and get a feel for village life in Hunter. And here's the wild part. In the late afternoon, you'll take a camel ride across extreme high-altitude sand dunes. It's literally a surreal desert experience sitting right in the middle of the Himalayas. No way you'd expect that, right?
Day 5 brings a huge shift. You drive 4 hours to Turtuk, which is India's northernmost village, and step right up to the line of control. If the army permits, you can impartially observe both Indian and Pakistani bunker positions. It's a sobering reality check of the region's geopolitics. But then, mere moments later, you transition to the absolute peace of walking through serene apricot orchards and exploring the Balti Heritage House Museum. Now we reach the peak of the trip in Section 4, Lakes and Starlit Skies. Day 6 demands an early start for a 7-hour drive, but the payoff? It's immense. You finally reach the world-famous Pangong 2. You can settle into a much slower, deliberate pace here and spend the rest of the day simply absorbing the pristine, freezing blue expanse of the lake. When you embark on the intense 7 to 8 hour drive from Pangong to Hanli on day 7, you really need to keep your eyes peeled. The landscape shifts again, and you might spot rare wildlife like the majestic black-necked crane or the kiang, which is a totally unique species of wild ass found exclusively in this Tibetan region. By late afternoon, you roll into Hanli, home to the Indian Astronomical Observatory.
But the real magic happens after dinner. Because you're at this extreme altitude with absolutely zero light pollution, the night sky just comes alive. You get to experience breathtaking stargazing using a local telescope right from your homestay.
Picking up the energy again, Day 8 is an extreme test of your limits. You visit the Maze Telescope and Hanley Monastery, and then push forward on a grueling 6-hour round trip to conquer the mighty Umlingla Pass. It's an intense physical and mental test before you can head back to the sanctuary of Hanley for the night.
Entering our final phase, Section 5, the final remote frontiers.
Now, while everyone knows the vast, pristine blue waters of Pangong, Day 9 introduces you to something totally different. After a 5-hour drive past the Mahe Bridge and the unexplored Kayagart So Lake, you arrive at Somariri. Unlike Pangong, Somariri boasts these deep, constantly shifting and changing colors of blue. It's just mesmerizing.
Here, you check into a homestay, explore Korzak village life, and really feel the wilderness. Actually, if you're incredibly lucky, this remote area is where you might just spot a Tibetan wolf or the elusive snow leopard. Just imagine sharing that story over the dinner table, right?
Day 10 is an action-packed 6-hour journey back. You depart Tiso Mariri, weave through Tisoke Lake and Puga Valley, soar over the Tanglang La Pass, and perhaps catch Hemis and Thixi monasteries one last time before arriving back in Leh. Then, Day 11 is your final airport drop-off.
So wrapping up our explainer today, I want to leave you with this. You've seen the sheer scale of these 11 days of Ladakh adventures. You've witnessed the physical demands of 17,000-foot passes, the deep serenity of changing blue lakes, and the stark reality of international borderlands. It will undeniably test your limits, but for sure, it will change your perspective forever. The only question left is, are you ready to pack your bags for the roof of the world?